spirit of the game. All right, you come out, and then about a minute, Pepper will be on the road back. She goes, "Everything's good."
I didn't see him. I didn't see him in there anywhere, but I left a message for him, so hopefully he'll get it.
Stay with you, or look for him.
We should have left him.
We need him for.
Alesky, do you want her to go with you?
But he hasn't had time to get it.
Well, I'm going back to our group.
I know. Pepper that. She wants to know if you want to go back with you, or wait to see if Alesky comes out. Spoke comes out.
Oh no, come on back with us, and once he gets the message, I'm sure he'll join us.
If she leaves,
Right.
I stay.
So after all that, you don't know that. So about 6 minutes scattered when you see the two of them come out. Spoke will 5 minutes follow that. I assume we'll go back to his regular form, not the old man. So now you guys are all outside the bloated boar together. What is your course of action?
Well, I have to talk to Spoke. And
yeah, I legitimately was not paying attention to anything you guys were doing. So I actually had a whole business with Benny while you guys were doing that. I have like a full chat with Benny over here.
You mean you weren't paying attention in metagaming?
Well,
no, I was actually chatting with him on the outskirts.
Like I caught a couple things. There's that you found the poison. It's really rare.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Alera,
Jew can explain to you the poison because they found all that information. From all the investigation I did, we're definitely dealing with a changeling.
Definitely a changeling?
So,
what evidence do you have of a changeling?
It's definitely from all the evidence that I've gathered, I only know one other person that could have pulled it off. I'll give you a guess who that is.
Me.
Bingo.
Not that we're accusing you, Spoke. It just fortifies that we believe another changeling is involved. With that said, Alexei procured a sample of the poison off of the dead mayor. We had that tested by one of the townfolk, who said that the only other time they've ever seen that poison was 300 years ago off the blade of a dark elf. So the question for you, in your experience in lore, are you familiar with any changeling that has in his possession a dark elf blade?
Roll.
What am I rolling?
You're going to roll history.
History. Man, that's just my best subject.
I told you guys to watch your skills, man. You guys thought it was.
Actually, that's not bad. 17.
We can't just create more skills. I can put pluses on all of them.
Wait, let me change my wisdom to a 20.
The combat skills to be mighty.
I got a 17 history, though, yeah.
Okay. You do know of a guild, not necessarily Assassin's Guild, not necessarily a lot of changelings. I mean, changelings are rare because they are feared amongst civilization. So when one gets to the I want to be a killer aspect, most hunted down and killed or taken away and utilized for very important things. You know of a group of thieves type of organization, an underground criminal known as the Cult of the Night Garden. That's the only one that you've ever heard that has some type of association with the Drow that have had some links in a lot of the greater kingdoms, because you've come through a lot of that stuff. It's a very, very fearful guild. It's dangerous, and it would be also big players. So this small backwater town has some underlying thought in somebody's mind for why it had to be why the mayor probably was hit. So to these people, it may not be relevant, but in your mind, this was a professional, dedicated assassin's hit, most likely contracted, not necessarily what the guild wanted, this Thieves Guild, but they were probably hired out by some other organization to specifically hit a political figure. And a Changeling of that type of degree knew he could easily come in and get out, and it would just be some fabricated murder, which is what your family has been known to do, where you put the blame on somebody else. So the crime is so hard to discern, and you guys kind of love the backwater little towns where they operate, because it's so hard for anyone of most relevance to be aware that a person could do that of that type of magnitude. So your type of people often hit the smaller outside towns, not go for kings and queens and great wizards, because
it's not even on their radar.
You're too trackable that way. That's how many of you have been lost in things. But it's a lot of, right. So these towns and stuff like that, they're very skilled assassins because they can go alone. They don't. A lot of other thieves have networks, like 5 to 6 people operating in different formations between scouts, lockpicks, spies, stuff like that. They all need to kind of symbiote work into a place. You changelings don't need that. Your one-man show, get in, get out, because it's so easy for you to get out of places and things, but you don't need this network of things like that. Just a little bit of like time and part is how you guys operate and work.
Mm-hmm. What was the name of the what was the name of the cult of the night? What?
The Night Garden.
Guardian?
Garden.
All right. I don't necessarily recognize that as the tattoo I saw, I assume.
What tattoo?
It's definitely not the tattoo. That is, you've never seen their tattoo. That tattoo that you saw was common. So that's something that would be above them. And again, that's another disturbing note, because again, operation-wise, if who you've been watching at the Gorm Cloak are indeed Thieves Guild, you can definitely tell there's 3 of them, so that's a network frame. But their tattoo was similar to something you've seen before.
All right.
But doesn't need operating on that part. The thing that I'm telling you is a direct surgical assassination by something of a greater interest and power. It's not seeing a Mayberry outlook of this town, but again, you know that your people do it for a reason. Most cases, it's now to probably eliminate a figurehead, and then something else could come in and take power in a number of formats. It's not, like I said, it's not a common thing. It's a rare occurrence, but you've seen this operation done in your past before. It's a specialty of your people, so it's obviously the step all right there. All the patterns that you're seeing, all the things, that part of it. Again, it could be a wizard because the blade is the giveaway. The blade is what's telling you that it's a much bigger organization.
Rare poison, magical
than a
blade. Simple
thief. Yeah. Like I said, if that poison from what he was telling you is drow related, that's why I'm saying that night the night is the one that is more associated with that level of extreme violence type of thing.
So, like, one of the big takeaways, other than it being the Night Guardian cult, is that we probably should be looking for somebody who's trying to rise in power, because that's probably the person who is benefiting from this murder, and therefore.
What weird spell in
again, you people can hit somebody.
I don't know. I was just looking at that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Matt there.
He was the one with the high data. You should use it for high data. No, your people can set the way. A changeling can be a forward operating a true assassin.
Yeah.
It's not an internal part, because again, you're feeling a Mayberry touch here. Someone came out from the outside, wants something of this town, and eliminated somebody who could organize something. So if someone kind of came in, like they could do a bunch of stuff, a figurehead is removed, leaves it to the common folks who may not be able to deal with it.
Yeah, no, they could. This could be a foothold in the region that is outside group has the Changeling coming in by himself first, taking out the mayor, and then they replace it with their figurehead. And then next thing you know, the town is a foothold in the region. They're moving everything through.
Right, which is no surprise with what we've heard of what's happening in this land.
Yeah.
Everybody give me a nature roll, please.
I mean, there could be
nature
there
boy?
could be
And I'm gonna give you advantage.
there could
Nature
be
with
there could be
17.
tunnels here. Oh, nat 20. Uh-oh.
20. Okay.
Woo!
17.
Kind of figure what I told you guys before. If you kind of realize, so the Fang Port is a little bit off to the side of the coast and going down. If you kind of remember and look at your maps that you were given from Penelope there, you guys can realize that that's it. Greenwood is the next one that goes into the bleak woods, and then after that you have just the last lodge, and then there's another town, a couple more on the lower shores below that, and then in the far east there's Flowerdale. From that, everything in there's a couple other places, but the woods of the Fae encompass a lot. So this would be a lock. If you go down from Fangsport, if it's occupied from what you were told from the rumor wide, it would put a lock in and another staging point to possibly into Flowerdale or definitely attack the last
it's definitely
next, and then possibly into the ports below. It's just something outside. And it has farms and livestock, so it could in truth feed a small war band as well. These are military things that you guys all know having experience in serving them.
Okay, I think we need to do two things right now. Step one is what Oleski had alluded to earlier. Alaron, I think you need to do a quick check of the area just to make sure that this individual is not still in town. I highly doubt it. I'm guessing it was a hit and run. But if you want to do your magic check, just to be sure they're not lingering to make sure everything goes to plan. Because if we can catch this assassin and eliminate him, that would obviously be a big deal. The second step is I think we need to go back and talk to the sheriff and present our findings and see what type of help we can have them reach out for to kind of shore up this town. Bring in some extra guards or something along those lines. Because if they're trying to take out the elected official to cause chaos, that means they're probably going to expect to move in relatively soon, within days.
Yeah.
How big is Pepper?
She's about, we'll say 5'6".
She's short.
5'5". She's not that tall. Yeah, she's very she's got a pretty well set a body type. I mean, she's very firm framed.
I have an idea where your mind is going, Alexi. If Alaron does his check, he should be able to detect at least the blade and who might be holding it if they're nearby. Saying that, we lost Alaron.
Yeah, I think his phone was dying. She does not have a dagger on her. She has a short sword and a longbow. As you can see on her frame, there's no. And not to mention, she also won the help with the depressions of your tracks.
Well, yeah, that's actually what's driving this line of thought. That and she's unaccounted for. Her whereabouts was unaccounted for.
Nope, her accounts.
No, she was with us.
Accounted for if you double check the warm cloak. Warm cloak is part of the organization. But again, you have all your facts.
Yeah, but the guard said he didn't see her at the bar when she was supposed to be there.
The guard said what?
that he didn't see her at the bar when she was supposed to be there. That was one of the things that Elrond was saying, was her whereabouts before 12:30 weren't accounted for.
You guys remember her being with you all the way up until 12:30. Then they saw her leave around there, and then checked in about 12:40 to the Worm Cloak, and that's the information that you have. And you basically found her there that morning, so no one spotted her around 1 a.m.
Yeah, so I'm still so ultimately
give me a deception check, Oleski, because she's not. If you're gonna put like blame on her, she's gonna have an insight check on you.
Well, no, I wasn't doing any of that. All I asked was how big she was, and then then we started having kind of that conversation, but not really. Okay. Wasn't really meant to be an actual conversation that occurred.
Ben, while Matt's doing the conjecturing, HK will just speak up. Reading from the Psalms of Battle, Book 4, Chapter 1. When you take away their leader, you take away their hope. When the hopeless are ruled by the hapless, the second battle begins.
Yeah, I still think our next best plan is to go get lunch in the tavern room, and hopefully Elrond can come up with a clue just by observing the comings and goings of those staying in the tavern.
Okay.
We seem to have evidence that brings the individual back to the tavern area. So as somebody pointed out before, they're most likely staying in the tavern as well.
All right, you guys go in the Bloody Boar. You grab seats. Kristen will come and give Jake a big hug and kiss. I don't know how much you'll respond to that. And the barkeep there, the human woman, there, she'll come up and she will put tankards around you guys. She's quickly telling the other server to go get some food. You heard her say her name is Janice. She's like, Janice, go get them food, hurry. So she brings the tankard. Food's brought to you guys at the table. She goes, oh, thank you. I knew Kristen couldn't do anything like that. I really appreciate you helped her out. Thank you. Everything's on me today. Everything is on me. Eat well. Thank you for helping her out. She's such an integral part of my family here. So here you go. Eat well, drink well. Thank you for helping her. She told me all about it.
I slide my drink to Jew. I slide my food to Elrond.
Is there something wrong, sir? The food.
Swap that around.
There's absolutely nothing wrong. Your food was so rich earlier that my friend, who is far too slender for his own liking, needs to have extra.
Well, do you want water or something? I might have some milk.
Milk doesn't settle well. Clang, clang, clang.
Okay. He's really.
Do you have olive oil?
Confused, but she'll let you be. But you have now plenty of food at the table and drink. Yes. Okay.
I'll take some olive oil.
Janice. All right. Janice goes out back.
Elrond
comes back and they place olive oil on the table
in a dirty glass, straight up.
I dip my finger in it and I just rub it on my neck.
Rub it on my neck.
Awesome.
Much better. Thank you.
Elrond, do you want to do your check?
All of you smell.
Yeah, I can detect magic and see if I notice anything.
Okay. Everybody at the party glows except Pepper.
Okay, there's nothing else in the room that's...
Nope, you detect everything you know. The magic weapons
It sucks to be you, Pepper.
and the rings that each of you own. HK does not have a ring. And Pepper has no magical items on. None of the bartenders have anything. The servers don't have anything. The drunken bar guy who's been hanging around, he doesn't have anything.
Alaron, you should speak with Kristen.
Guys.
You should speak with Kristen to see if there has been any other travelers that have stayed here in the last 2 to 3 days. She'll obviously be truthful with you.
You should speak with her because clearly she's not a trustworthy mate.
Yeah, that too. I wasn't going to say that, HK, but
I protected you.
Perhaps
any wizard are not able to say.
All right, HK, just keep rubbing olive oil on your neck. My
neck is fine. Are you saying my elbow needs it?
Yeah, it's looking a little ashy. Alaron, go see what info you can grab.
Yeah, I'll go ask her if there was any other visitors in the last few days that have in the tavern scene just kind of stood out or anything.
You're with the two girls. They say they've noticed everybody in town. Oh, there was a hooded traveler they didn't recognize. He didn't say much, ate his food, and he left. That was a week ago.
Was there anybody that stayed the night last night other than us?
No. You guys' private chats are killing me. No, you guys were the only ones.
Okay.
Wait, can you see our private chats?
No, but I can see your reaction.
Oh, okay.
As a DM, I have a good personal insight check.
Okay.
Come on. I make no clandestine efforts, ever.
All right.
They haven't the owner there, the bartender there, Lola, she will also tell you that there hasn't been anybody in 2 days until you guys showed up. So nobody was at the tavern. Nobody came in last night. So nobody left. I mean, Lola was well in bed. Janice turns in very early as well. So when they all turned in was about the same time she got up to your room, is what you figure out. The only one that was downstairs was which was Quint, and he's mostly passed out, which he already is this morning.
But is he really?
He's not. You can tell he's been there, and you can't smell him, but the other guys can. That he is a classic veteran drunk.
And he's well known to the staff here. He's somebody who's here often.
He owns the.
Well, that would be often. Yeah.
Pepper will tell you. His name is Squint Samhold. He was a former barbarian Northman from the north, but he took his earnings, settled in Greenwood, bought the tavern. He owns it, but he doesn't run it. He just drinks his part. Lola's the one that runs the tavern mostly. Actually does run it. She just keeps him drunk in bed when he needs to. That's where he stays. He's been at the end of the bar every time. You guys were here long.
I reach over, grab the second drink that I gave to Jew, and I take it away. I can't protect you from becoming that. I give it to
So
Howard.
my brain goes back to the idea that there might be something underground maybe access around the tavern here or under the tavern? Are there cellars in this town? Or
we've got a map.
Yeah, didn't we buy the map with the tunnels?
Yeah, yep. I definitely wanted to check that when we have the chance, but I'm wondering.
Tunnels.
When the sheriff was seen, where did he go?
Could be basements and houses. He said somewhere
He
around
was.
You guys went inside.
The last we knew, he was here about 1 a.m.
No, he was
Or
walking around here. He wasn't inside here. The tavern is
We need to look around here to find this underground access.
There is no underground.
There is none.
Ground access in here, or in a house, but no tunnels here. It's a very small town.
I'm going to ask the other server, what's her name, Gina or something, if she would be so kind enough to fetch the sheriff for us. Summon him to the bar.
How you were feeling with your heart racing instead of just
You want me? I guess I can ask Lola. She goes up and asks Lola. Lola looks over and goes, something like, some type of expression. Okay, Janice will leave. All right. So
Won't that leave Kristen unprotected?
Huh?
You guys are at the tavern.
Kristen unprotected if he comes here?
Maybe. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave it here. It's about 10 o'clock. So we'll end this session as we continue our investigation tomorrow, starting at basically 2 p.m. time frame for you guys.
Murder mystery.
Dun, dun, dun.
So thank you, folks, for following us. Stay tuned to this murder mystery that's going on in the town of Greenwood. Can our new elected police official, PIs, discover who the Changeling assassin is that's not spoke. We'll see you next week.
Or so we think.
Bum, bum, bum.